Hello everyone, it's time for another 15 plus 10 game, and I've had a haircut. I went a bit crazy at the barber's, but you get to do this. It's very nice. Okay, so I've got an OTB match this evening, and in other news, I've had my first cup of tea in over 3 weeks, so this is day 25 of my strict carnivore challenge. But I woke up with slightly sore toe, so my proximal big toe joint on my right foot is hurting, and I'm just worried that just in case it's the first hint of gout, which can be related to oxalate dumping, don't worry about it. I thought I'd have a little bit of oxalate, so I've had a square of dark chocolate and I've had some weak tea today. But we're going to do a 15-10, and we're going to play a 1474 called Legionario 1969. He's even older than me, and I'm going to play my normal stuff. He's rated 1474. I'm rated exactly 1500 right now. Okay, and we've got ourselves a Scotch. Okay, in the match today I would play, okay, the Scotch Gambit. I hate the Scotch Gambit. I hate playing the Scotch Gambit. Okay, well, I'm going to play the line that I know. So if the knight comes in, I get this. Okay. Right, they do that immediately. Now, I think the move here is d5. If they take the knight, we then take the bishop. Pretty sure that's what it is. And honestly, guys, this is the one opening that I have struggled the most against. As in to find an aggressive, badass response. Now, I used to play the Scotch Gambit as well, and I don't know why I stopped, because it's venomous, and the Haxo Gambit as well, which comes from it. Yeah, with solid play from black, it's a toughie. Now I have two attackers on this pawn. Okay, so I obviously have to take back with a pawn. And now I've got funky looking pawns here. This one hangs. That guy there hangs, but then so does this guy. And it's a... Hello, Sasha. It's a very confusing position. Okay, now, currently material is equal. Go away, go away, go away, go away. No. 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 Come on say hello to the boys and girls then. But you need to... Alright. Okay, happy? Go on, jump down. 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 I need to concentrate. Get down, go. Alright. So here, queen can pin, but I have the ability to defend. So I think we take the pawn. Also defends this pawn backwards ways. So, right, we're going to assume that the rook wants to come to e1. That pins the knight. If the rook comes to e1, the knight is pinned. Therefore, the knight is no longer defending that. Therefore, I think we should do this one again. Now, is it c5? I'm not too scared about the knight right now, right? Let's say these are the next two moves. Okay, rook pins the knight. He's threatening to do this. Maybe. Do I do this or do I do this? If I do that and that, or is it like bishop here, getting ready to castle? Bishop there, rook e1. My knight is undefended. Or bishop here, rook e1. Castles, attacks. I move my knight away. But then that hangs his pawn. Queen here, rook e1. My knight is defended by the queen. The queen also defends this. But if knight takes and queen takes, then I lose this rook. But I'm a pawn up right now. But I'd rather get my bishop out than get my queen out, right? Let's think again. Bishop here, rook e1. I castle. He can't take the pawn immediately because he loses his knight, so he attack. Now I want to get the bishop there. I think I want to get the bishop there because I want to get my king castled. If I let go of this pawn, he can't take it immediately because he loses a knight, right? Or king goes here. He can't do this immediately. Or can he? If f4, I mean f4 is quite committal, but f4, c5, counter-attack the knight. But then he's got two captures. So the counter-attack doesn't work. Okay. But now I simply think castles is fine. The knight's defended. I mean, technically I could also like play my bishop out, even play my bishop to here or here. But let's say castles. Castles, can't see a problem with castles. I'm trying to play this game how I'm going to play a 75-minute game this evening. Let's say I castle, let's say he does this. He forces the knight away, then he's going to win that, right? But if I do something else, we get f4, attacking the pinned piece. Or unless I do c5. c5, he does this, I take the knight. Queen comes out, I castle. He takes the knight. I can't take back with the bishop because there's queen and rook looking at there. I attack him, he attacks me. If I castle, he plays f4. He's weakening his king. I castle, he plays f4, I counter-attack. He takes, I take. He takes bishop, no good. I castle, f4. Stick my knight here. Or even here. Or here. Giving up this pawn. Like this and queen here. Threats of knight to here. I don't know. I really just want to learn how to defuse this. One of the most, it's just a really difficult opening. Okay, I'm going to get my king safe. Like, sod the pawn. These double pawns are not my primary concern right now. I will find out afterwards if I could have done something better. I also potentially have like knight g4. And not really so much in the case of f4, but knight g4 puts two attackers on here, right, with the bishop and the knight. That's the thought. Quite pleased with the way I'm using my time so far. Okay, this is a bit of a surprise. Now I could just play bishop d7. I could just move my knight out of the way. I still can move my knight out of the way, so I think I should develop now. Right, I've got 1, 2, 3, even 4 arguably. 5 reasonably good squares. 6, I could put it technically there. Lots and lots of options for the bishop. Okay, let's go through them. This one doesn't defend the pawn. I could also just attack the knight now. If he counterattacks, takes, even takes, takes, that's better for me. I attack the knight. Feels good doing it. Hangs this one. I can still play c6. I could still play bishop e6. And if takes, takes. Happy days. See, I didn't look before I leapt on that one, right? I didn't say what's my opponent's best response. See, but he's not going to take here because I just win a piece. I'm just trying to get into the mindset, into the rhythm, you know. Just get into the habit of calculating a bit. Don't know who I'm playing tonight. Not even sure who the opposition is tonight, actually. Okay, he's kind of looking at my bishop. Right. He can take the bishop. I take that with the pawn. Also, this hangs though. I could do this. That hits the knight and defends this pawn. Okay. If c6 and he takes, I take. We're kind of equal, development-wise. I have bishop e7, which defends this, but then it's under attack twice. So I think this is kind of force, right? We're going to end up in an opposite-coloured bishop situation, but at least my central pawn is defended. If he takes, I recapture with the queen. Now my light squared bishop is somewhat hampered right now, but there ain't no reason why these pawns can't just shove up the board. Just all move forwards as a group. Bring this bishop to life on b7, staring down at g2. I have a nice knight in the middle of the board. I have... okay. So that's interesting, because the queen's now undefended, so, you know, taking the knight isn't a thought right now. If I go here, pawn takes, right? If I go here and queen takes, I just take the knight. But that just loses a pawn. So I think we probably drop down here, because the knight's also forking this pawn as well on c5. But then we might run into f4 again. F4 would just take the knight. Might come here, but I still think b7 is probably the preference. Hateful opening. So I've got weapons against most of the common openings, but the Scotch Gambit I am weaponless against. I'm quite happy with my Steinitz Scotch if they take back with a knight on here with this move. Quite happy with that. I don't, you know, it's not crushing, but I very often get a pawn up. Okay, interesting. So the queen's also the only defender of this. Now, my knight is also vulnerable. This does pin the f pawn. Material again is equal. I think I need to take. I think the problem is that my knight's now pinned on the queen, so you know I'm still worried about this move f4. Okay, how are we doing? Right, I've got split pawns on the queen side. Okay, I can still play bishop e7. Now my queen's kind of in the way of this. I've got the tempo move with f6 against the rook. That's not a bad idea, seeing as my opponent has only a dark squared bishop. It stops it from going there. I'm going to play that. Let's say my bishop ends up on b7, right? I want a way to target this, but it's not like it's going to, you know, there's no winning checkmate threat there. You know, he's going to see it coming and he's going to stop it. I feel like after this game we might be doing some exploration into the to refuting the Scotch Gambit. I feel like there's something. I mean, the one alternative here is to play the Scotch and take with a knight, which is unusual. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to explore it. We shall have to explore. Okay, so he's thinking what to do with his rook. Right now we've got defended once, defended once, defended once. All of these pawns are defended only once. My bishop's going to be looking for employment at some point in time. I don't think it belongs on a6. I also have the more active rooks. I only have to move my bishop, and this rook can come to, you know, a couple of nice places. This rook, you know, is the queen's also in the way. Right? But right now he's got a problem because he's got to move that guy. Okay, there he goes. Now, is it b7 for the bishop? Or do I put him in like a defensive position? That's what I'm thinking, you know. I'm thinking like bishop f5. Target this 2 times. I might drop it back to g6. Just solidify my king. And maybe, you know, try and cause some trouble with pawns. Sticking my queen here and like bishop h3 is a thought. Can stick it here. This is a very even game. If I offer him a draw, what would happen? Do we contest the open file? And he's currently remarkably undeveloped. Right? So is it in my interests to? That doesn't work. He can just take. He's got 2 attackers on that square. Could just stick my rook on b8 and try and tie the bishop down to this. Is he going to do that? No, because it loses a pawn. Let's play that move. It's extremely balanced. You know, the imbalances on the board are I have 3 pawn islands to his 2. It's slightly in white's favour. But on the other hand, both my rooks are active. And kind of so is my bishop. His bishop can't go there or there. So out of these squares, I mean, yeah, it could go here. Then I just do this and attack this pawn. In fact, that would undefend the pawn as well to move his bishop out. So I feel like I've got a bit of an initiative lead. That's exactly what he does. Also notice this. So I might have to do that, which is fine. So I'm now threatening b2 with my rook. And this is the problem with this isolated pawn. It can never be defended by another pawn. But if I stick it on a light coloured square, then these are the only guys that can ever really touch it. And apart from the pawns, obviously, but let's stick it on a light square and crack on with my day, I think. I think it's very even right now. This is not a surprise. Do I just drop back to a6? I don't want to go there, that hangs the queen. I've got a3. a3 is interesting because it hits his pawn. a6. I'll go here. He can defend. But it stops the a pawn moving as well. Maybe. Might be something in there. I'm still defending a7 backwards. I probably want to play a6 at some point. I don't want to get queenie trapped, but my bishop guards b1. My queen's attacking this pawn now, so the rook right now is tied down to the defense of the pawn. I think if I were white right now, I'd be looking to get my queen off the back rank and connect the rooks. I hope this is not the kind of game that we get this evening. So yeah, drinking weak tea. So my wife makes a pot of tea in the morning before she goes out. She's at work today. And there you go. You are reading my mind. Now, is this possible? There. So if he takes, I take. And I've resolved my loose pawn. If he goes here, I just take. I think it's okay. I've got to get it. I mean, I've used half my time now as well. Trying to be careful, trying to be methodical. My opponent's got 2 minutes more than I do. But it's a relatively simplified board right now. Okay, this is interesting. So he's threatening to take the pawn with a discovery on the queen. Therefore, I need to move my rook. Well, I need to move my rook anyway, because he's threatening to take the rook. That's what he's threatening immediately. Here, tradey. Push. I don't mind. Probably bishop back here as well. But it'd be nice, you know, if I end up with one rook and it's on e8, then the bishop defending the rook from g6 would be fine. Nice to know. There, the bishop's defended itself, and it's also defending the e8 square, which is the landing pad for the open file. Okay, I'm just going to play that without a second thought. Nothing much else has changed on the board. Bishop taking there could be an idea at some point, but I'd need to have my queen really on the g file, and where's she going to go? Right. Nowhere. Takes. Takes here, I'll just take back with the queen. If pushes, I take the bishop. The pawn's effectively pinned. If I take, I think he kind of needs to take back with the pawn to try and reconnect these two guys, otherwise he's going to end up with the one with the split pawns, ironically. If he takes with the bishop, I just move queenie, yeah, I just move the queen probably on a light square. Okay, takes and takes, I drop back anyway, right? This rook's also undefended, should be noted. So I take. Pawn takes, I just drop back. Even drop back to a8, defending this pawn. Takes, bishop takes, same deal. Queen a8. I could just go there. My queen's somewhat more active there. I think I'd rather, yeah, I'm going to do that because I'd rather let him take and leave himself with split pawns. If I take, it gives him the opportunity to reconnect, and that is not in our interests. No, my love, it's not. Oy, oy. Here, again, he takes with this pawn. This pawn he can't take with. That is effectively pinned because I take the rook with check, which will be kind of winning. If I take, again, pawn takes. Kind of like my bishop here, it might get to cause trouble later. Takes. Then his queen's also looking at that. I don't want this, you know, I want him to be the one to do the taking. I could even just stick my bishop on f7, just defending this guy, but yeah. I don't know, it's not a pretty game, is it? Queen b5. He pushes, I drop back. Queen b5, he pushes, I come here, he pushes, takes. I'm just kind of... And still we have this rook tension that we're both choosing to maintain. I don't know, what would you do? How do you pick a plan in a situation like this? He pushes, he just loses a pawn. Oh, he's undefended this pawn. So now if I take... My rook is defended twice. Has he noticed that? This bishop's also undefended now. I'm attacking this pawn. I'm attacking this pawn. My rook is adequately defended. If we take once, maybe I'll take with the rook. Because my bishop's in a nice position there. Okay. But now, do I not go a pawn up? I believe I do. Can't see a problem. Also defending my rearmost pawn here. Could even stick my rook on there. No, obviously not right now. That would be silly. Because I'd lose material to rook takes, bishop takes, losing a bishop, and probably losing the game. I could stick my queen there. That's defended. What are you doing? Don't get it. I don't get it. I'm just going to make a move. He's a pawn down. I have these two central pawns. That is my advantage. We also have opposite coloured bishops, which could be very drawish in an endgame. His bishop is pretty much tied to the defence of the pawn because I'm attacking it twice with queen and rook. Unless he wants to bring one of his rooks out of the game. I'm just going to make a move. I'm half inclined to offer a draw here, guys, because I'm going to offer him a draw. Just because it's so damn boring. Now, obviously I won't do that tonight. He's agreed. Okay. Because what I'm really interested in... Okay, I had a tiniest edge. I'm a pawn up, but my advantage is only 0.17 after queen c4. Okay. So I'll have a look at the review. I felt like that was pretty accurate, and they're, oh goodness me, both on 89. Both on 89, 2 mistakes each side, no blunders, no misses. Honestly, you couldn't put a cigarette paper between us. Okay. Book move, book move, book move, book move, book move, book move, book move. Okay. Good move, not bad. Okay. Black, slightly better. Inaccurate. Best move. There. Now this one, not ideal. Defending with a queen was the right one. I know I thought about that a long time, and I thought I wanted to get the bishop out. I don't know if I seriously considered queen f6. It's a third of a pawn better. Queen f6 still defends the pawn this way, yeah. Okay, but anyway, this is what we have. That's a mistake, and now I'm better. But here's where I failed to capitalise. I castled, which is great. He does this, which is okay. And now pushing the pawn was not right. Is it queen f6 again? It is. Queen f6 again. This is still defended by the knight as things stand. Okay, so queen f6. Show moves. Well, clearly I'll remember all of that tonight if I end up in this exact position. So, and then just looking at the graph, guys, there's just nothing in it. Nothing in it. I shouldn't have taken there. What? So here it's saying rook takes, queen takes, then I take here. I won the pawn anyway. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. That's dull as dishwater. That was. However, it's the way it goes, and if I get in the same situation tonight, I will just jolly well knuckle down and try and eke out the tiniest advantage. But hopefully we're not going to get the Scotch Gambit. But good news is I played against it pretty well. Right? You need to remember, you know, it's okay to get your queen out. And on that bombshell, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. See you later.